I am really excited for our next session today. It gives me a great degree of pleasure to introduce to you Divya Gokulnath, who is the co-founder of Byju's India, a household name on the subcontinent, India's largest edtech company. She's the creator of India's most loved school learning app, which offers highly adaptive, engaging, and effective learning programs across grades. Now, for the past 11 years, Divya herself has led the charge in shaping a startup that has now transformed how future generations of Indians learn. And it is her pioneering spirit and a canopy of achievements that have seen her grace. You can name it, she's been on that list. From Fortune's Most Powerful Women 3 years in a row, to LinkedIn Top Voices in Education, and even Forbes' 25 Most Powerful Women, and many, many more. I could go on, but I want her to start speaking. I'd like to welcome, without much further ado, Divya Gokulnath. Please, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Divya.
So, Bangalore, India is where I've spent most of my life growing up. And there's this place called Food Street in Bangalore where they sell a lot of nice chaat. If anybody's from Bangalore, they know that. So recently I did have some time to go there and I rushed to the first chaat shop and the vendor was very busy on his phone and I said, place my order. He said, sorry madam, I'm busy. And I attributed his mobile phone addiction to a lack of customer service. And I went to the second person. I got the same answer. I went to the third person. And then I knew, like James Bond says, once is coincidence, twice is happenstance, third time it's enemy action, right? So I wanted to know what happened. I asked the third guy, why did you deny my order? He says, I don't mind serving you, but are you ready to wait? You're the 23rd customer in low. And then I'm like, what? Because there was no one around me. And then I understood that he's probably taking an order online from one of the popular food apps in the country. And I said to myself, welcome to hybrid India. So it is my profound pleasure, my honor to speak before this audience today at JITEX. After 2 years of virtual meetings and gatherings, it's nice to feel the electricity in the air. I think the one thing that the virtual meetings did for me is that it kept me connected through my pregnancy. So I was able to practice, I was able to perform, and then I was able to have my conferences happen as if nothing happened, and I came back. But this is great, and it feels great to be over here. So I want to start because the topic is all about innovation. The topic is about entrepreneurship. Innovation is in India's DNA, right? Thanks to the openness of globalization. Indeed, it was in India that we had the first international university called Nalanda, and I'm not sure how many people know about it. Attracting thousands of students all over the world, this residential university was one of the world's greatest centers of learning for hundreds of years. It was called the golden age of teachers. A lot of people even called it the golden age of India, right? Nalanda was the first real great attempt to make education truly world-class. India has always been open to ideas, right from the days of the Indus Valley civilization over 5,000 years ago. Cut to today. The terrible pandemic forced us to collaborate digitally, to work together across the world. Pioneers came together from all sectors, and especially from healthcare and education, to disrupt the challenges and change the way we approach solutions in this new world, which we never ever expected it to be. Who would have thought in 2019 that we will, invent life-saving vaccines within months? COVID-19 had an approval for its vaccines in late 2020. In 2021, the jabs were making their way, and here we are in 2022, safely with each other. India, the world's largest manufacturer of vaccine, also stepped up to become the world's largest vaccine distributor. In fact, in India, we also distributed vaccines to remote areas through drones. India was also the first country in the world to approve a DNA-based vaccine. Now, coming to education, because I spoke about healthcare and education. Education traditionally has been a slow-moving sector. What did not happen for decades happened in weeks because of the unfortunate pandemic. UNESCO reports that 1.2 billion children were shut out of schools. This enormous challenge actually proved to be a turning point, a pivotal point for education. It brought online learning to the forefront. Teachers around the world converted their homes into classrooms. There was a newfound respect for teachers, and as parents, all of us entered their homes. I too, as a teacher myself, converted my bedroom into a de facto studio. Something simple with a green screen behind me, a Cintiq, and a camera. I was good to go. This we did so that we ensured that students did not suffer from the lasting learning loss. In fact, one of the most fundamental paradigm shifts brought about by the pandemic was the systemic shift in education, right? And remote learning at scale. At Byju's, we made our learning content free for students to continue their learning uninterrupted as soon as the lockdown happened. And to just put this in numbers, around 50 million students would go on to use the app, download the app over the coming months. Today, we serve the learning needs of 150 million students across 120 countries through 20 offices across the world. One of the most empowering features of the shift towards online learning is the job creation for women. And I can't speak enough about it because I am so passionate about the change it's brought about to them. During the pandemic alone, we empowered 12,000 women to teach from their homes to the world. One of the most underrated advantages of EdTech is the opportunity it actually brings to this large pool of underemployed, high-quality graduate women who are unfortunately not able to pursue a career of their choice. Yes, EdTech actually frees the student, but it also liberates the teacher. That's a very, very important point. I also want to talk about India. India is known as the land of frugal innovation. And it is for a reason that it is called so. Whatever you say of India, the opposite is also true, right? So we are home to 1/6 of the world's population. That is our strength. But that also means our idea of scale is big. We need to solve for 1.4 billion people. As Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, rightly said, we have enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. So frugal innovation, therefore, is the only way forward. And India has mastered the math and the science of to do more with having less, to create impact at scale, with the minimum use of energy, the minimum use of capital, the minimum use of time. So India is a home to 100 languages, 700 tribes, every major religion in the world. It has some of the largest, the most densest places, and it as well as remote locations with absolutely no people. So this makes India one of the most diverse countries in the world. So this diversity dividend is also a strong driver for its innovative, for its entrepreneurial self. That's why when we say we solve for India, we actually solve for the world, right? So, and in this pursuit of us creating products for India, we hope to create a global classroom that the world now needs, the world now deserves, if I so have to say. So because we introduce learning programs and apps for those who are familiar with us in multiple languages, in multiple formats. So we have online, we have offline, we have hybrid, we have one-on-one learning, 2:20 learning, 1:1,000 learning. All of this because every child learns differently. But because we were able to create something which is global, localized to every country, and personalized to every learner, we were able to scale what we did to the entire world. So innovation, according to me, is the result of a need meeting an opportunity. And I am standing in the UAE, so I will speak about the UAE. And I think the Middle East, especially here, will play a major role in tackling the world's greatest challenges in the coming years. And I never cease to be amazed by the miracle of the miracle garden. There are 150 million flowers in the miracle gardens growing in a country which has a desert climate. This to me is innovation. This to me is resilience, right? And UA is already playing a huge role in being the hub of bringing different countries to the same place. This is innovation. Many people think innovation is a big red button that you will push and then the results will be delivered. But no, it's a series of small steps, part of a great journey towards a beautiful destination. And you never innovate alone. Togetherness is always underrated. 11 years ago, we started Byju's because we wanted to reimagine learning. We wanted to provide high quality personalized learning. We started in a small classroom, I would even say a coffee shop, and that today has scaled to millions of learners across the world on every possible platform. Our founding team was small. Our founding team of 6 people. We were inexperienced. We'd had zero corporate experience, but we had infinite passion and infinite energy. And I think that is the most important thing. We were always eager to help more and more students fall in love with learning. We were mission-driven then. We are mission-driven now, and we will be mission-driven for a long time to come. And though we hit the global headlines in 2018, becoming the world's largest edtech company, people say, the world's most valuable company, people say, for us, it's been about value creation. For us, it's been about adding more value. Because valuations can come and go, but values are actually what is forever. And we always thought big. We never failed to hit the ball out of the park, to dream beyond what we could fathom to dream. And I think that has played a big role in helping us reach where we are. Just to give you an example, when the world did not experiment with technology yet, we shut our physical classrooms, which were running in stadiums, and we used Visa technology to beam our lessons across the country. We adopted a mobile-first mindset in 2015 and moved the entire industry forward by at least 5 years. So we were just trying to reach more and more students, and we were ready to take any path that we had available to us to make that happen. Innovation is also ensuring that no child is left behind. And that's why I'll have to talk about education for all. And I cannot stop talking enough about it. Education for All is our not-for-profit venture where we help students from underprivileged backgrounds have access to the same high-quality learning that students have from better economic conditions, right? So till today, we have 5 million children who are learning with us for free. Our goal is to reach 10 million children before 2025. For me, more than half of those beneficiaries are young girls. This to me is breaking even. This to me is, if anything, if you can say success, this to me is success. So it is my personal goal that for every paid student, we have one student who is learning for free with us. And we innovated very differently with our not-for-profit initiative. We partnered with NGOs and state governments across the country to ensure that the quality material is reaching the last mile correctly. And because innovation is a never-ending pursuit, entrepreneurship is actually infinite in scope. Entrepreneurship and innovation is closely linked to each other. Education also is a lifelong pursuit. So, and if you talk about the kind of disruption which is happening in edtech, it's happening every single day as we speak with new technologies like Internet of Things, AI, VR. We all know it. We've all heard the words. Even we started moving from animated videos to computer vision, from curriculum-based videos to lifelong learning, from Zoom-based teaching to tech-inclusive education. All of this is important. You need to innovate every single day. Our London office, for example, is specially dedicated to the exploration of tomorrow's possibilities. I cannot emphasize this enough. Innovation is a forever pursuit. Ancient India's Nalanda was not built in a day. Modern Dubai's Miracle Garden was not built in a day. Byju's was not built in a day. I know we've come a long way, but we have a longer way to go because there is always so much more to do. And there is space for so many more people to come and innovate with us and do. So the golden age of India's teachers is returned, is the best way I would like to say it, because there is so much acceleration, there is so much need, there is so much force which is driving today's teachers to be the best version of themselves. The opportunity is back. So it's always day one at Byju's. We are now completely hybrid, offering both the blend of online and offline learning. So that brings me to the final aspect of this talk on India's contribution to innovation. And one admiring quality of the Indian brand of entrepreneurship is that we never innovate alone. If we solve for everyone, then we have to solve together. That's what tech helps you do. It helps you solve for everybody, but you can only solve together. Technology is only as powerful as the people who harness it. We need tech to empower humans, each other. So innovation is not an island. The modern spirit of togetherness is an innovation that is beautifully captured by an ancient Indian adage. I'm going to say that in English. For the large-hearted, the whole world is one family. So I invite you to innovate with me, and I make myself available for your innovative ideas. That's how we'll make this world a more beautiful place to learn, to work, to grow, to thrive. Thanks a lot. This is Divya Gokulnath, co-founder of Byju's.
Thank you, Divya. Do I have anyone with a question for Divya about the massive company that she's behind building? No questions from, I have one. Could I get a mic? We have two. Very quickly, please. I'd like to take both of their questions.
Hi, I'm Samir. I'm working on another edtech kind of a venture. So I wanted to understand from you whether it is possible to actually, reach out to investors. How did you reach out? What was your journey of raising funds, and how painful or how wonderful? What were the learnings there?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and people love the answer. So I'll tell you what happened. So for us, luckily, investors have always come out of inbound interest, right? So the first time we got an investment, it was in 2014, just before we launched our app. So although we were incorporated in 2011, and how it happened was that they happened to walk into one of our VSAT classrooms where there was no physical teacher, but there were students of that college sitting down in pin drop silence and listening to a screen. So they saw the value of the content, they saw the value of the product, and that's how they invested in us. It's been the same even today. All the investors, we have 71 marquee investors on our board, and all of them are great partners. All of them have come in through inbound interest. I think it's the value that you create that ultimately they see. The business model is very, very important for them because they need to make sure that you have your unit economics right and that you're also solving for economy at scale. So these were the things, and see, ultimately, we are not business people. We were teachers with a deep passion to help millions learn better. That intersected with a need at society. That solved it at scale, and I think that's what attracted them to us. I don't know whether I answered your question how difficult or how easy, but probably I just told you what worked for us.
Thank you. And yes, one last question, please.
Hello. I want to ask that what were the initial hiccups that you faced in launching this? Because studying the ecosystem and having those ground realities where there are some logistical matters missing on ground, and fixing that, introducing edtech in a country where maybe technological reception might not be that, people might not be very open to it, and people are a little scared of technology. So how did you solve that problem, create a solution that actually speaks to the students within India?
Yeah, it's a good question, but the answer won't be relevant today because you don't face that challenge today if you're starting a company, right? So the biggest challenge we had was of awareness prior to the pandemic. So we are 11 years old officially, 16 years old unofficially. So we went the entire journey of offline classroom completely to online and then to hybrid. So the challenges we faced, yes, was awareness. Yes, was how can technology empower education. Today, everybody knows the answer because we were all given a practical lesson in it across the world. All stakeholders, students, parents, teachers, and institutions. Today, if you ask me what is the challenge, today the challenge will be, can you be a great edtech company by adding value? Because edtech is not digitizing a textbook. EdTech is about creating something which has great quality, integrating the best of technology, content and learning to create something that will make a student a better learner. So that is going to be the challenge because you have so many companies who now understand the potential of EdTech. That's how it should be, and they're all coming together.
Thank you, Divya. A round of applause, please. Thank you for sharing your insights.